The Wide Bay has long been touted as an idyllic sea change destination, but over the last few years it's had the unenviable reputation as being one of the worst jobless regions in the state and nation. The unemployment rate continues to hover around double the national figure as local companies shed staff and workers find it harder to get a job. Welfare agencies are struggling to cope with the demand for help, but local politicians are optimistic that a turnaround is on the way. Francine Norton reports.
Foot traffic has taken over the streets of Maryborough as the city centre is transformed into a bustling outdoor market. It's been a weekly celebration of all things local for 25 years, but in the last few years there's been less to celebrate. Maryborough is a community struggling with job losses.
The answer's got to lie with someone to start listening to what's happening. Ask real questions, why we've got such unemployment.
This town's labour history is steeped in industry. The old Walker's factory, set up 150 years ago, made way for a modern-day foundry and train manufacturer. But in the last 12 months, more than 100 jobs have been slashed at Downer EDI. At CQMS Razor, half the workforce has gone. In part, that's because production has been moved offshore.
And to hell with Australian industry and to hell with Australian jobs. It's as simple as that. Now, it's not only the loss of these jobs, there's some 200 jobs in the foundry and both EDI Rail. Off those companies hang a lot of smaller companies in and around town here, little engineering shops, paint shops, blasting shops, who all employ people. So that 200 could become 400-600 people.
Over the last few years, the economic picture here has been grim. The Wide Bay region has been feeling the pain as a high Aussie dollar sees companies cutting costs and the tourism market stagnates. The jobless rate here is volatile, fluctuating between 5 and 11% on a monthly basis. It has a constant reputation as one of the worst in the state.
Hello, this is Lifeline. How may we help?
Welfare agencies are struggling to meet the rising demand for help. Financial counsellors at Uniting Care Community see up to 100 people a week in the Wide Bay Burnett. More than 40% of people here are in rental stress.
What we're seeing is people that are discouraged. We see people that have their skills wane away. We see people that become less employable in the eyes of employers. We see children who have a lower level of self-esteem because they have been brought up in a family with stigma, and that rolls on to another generation.
This year, Maryborough was chosen for a federally funded initiative called Project 40, which helps people 45 and older get back into the workforce.
People who have been unemployed for quite a while, taking on a different attitude, different job search techniques, and that finding employment. So in some cases they've been unemployed for a couple of years even. And employers now starting to ask us who we have.
Upskilling long-term unemployed addresses just some of the challenges. The Fraser Coast Mayor, Gerard O'Connell, admits the manufacturing sector, not just in his own backyard, but worldwide, is under threat. But he says local skills won't be wasted, despite the depressed industry in the region. He believes Maryborough is uniquely poised to utilise its strong skills set.
Some of the skill sets that come out of manufacturing, the traditional industries of manufacturing, will fit nicely to marine and aviation. We've done a preliminary approval as a council recently for a marine industry precinct, 65 hectares on the bank of the Mary River, that will allow us to work in partnership with a private developer so that we've got the capacity to do maintenance and training for boats throughout the eastern seaboard of Australia. In terms of aviation, on the Fraser Coast we have 2 operating airports, one here in Maryborough and one in Hervey Bay. Jet capacity that link us to southern capitals. So there's an opportunity to grow our aviation sector.
The LNP's state member for Maryborough, Anne Madden, is similarly optimistic, but she says no government can facilitate a turnaround in 12 months.
We can build tourism, we can build our agricultural base, and then we've got the other interesting bits, which is the industrial stuff. So let's look at things other than trains. We have lots of, as I said, fantastic resources here. They're underutilised. If we didn't have those resources, or they were fully utilised, then we've got nowhere to go. We have got huge capacity here. We just need to drive it forward. We just need to knock on the right doors. It will happen. It will take time, but it will happen.